Okay, good morning and welcome back to DS Radio Shack. So today's morning Ray 2 class will be about resistance and capacitance. So we've already had our breakfast, so we've got our mind fully charged and ready to go. Would have done this the other day, but we were just doing MOSFETs and everything else, so that wasn't part of the video during that time frame. However, we will do it today. So let me get my camera where it needs to be. Boxcar, Matt, how are you? Good morning. Okay, so today let's talk about a couple different things. We're going to do some resistance. We're going to do capacitance. We're going to do a variety of different things and whatnot. So let's start with the basics. Okay, so let's go with let's say, okay, let's do like parallel, because that's like the most, series. This is the series like the most simplified, right? So we're going to go, we'll just dive right into it. Okay, so we call that R1, R2, 3, 4. And what we're looking to do, let's say, I don't know, we'll make it simple. We'll go 50, 50, 50, and 50. Okay, just make it simple. So basically what you do with the resistors in series, you're just looking for a sum. So in this case here it would be R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4 equals RT, which is our resistance total. Okay? So people ask me, why can't you put, I've done this before, and they said, why don't you put TR for total resistance? Because T does not represent resistance. R does. So it's always RT, which is R total. And then if you get into like, or in this case would be actually, I should say that, it's actually RS total. That's what it is. So it's R series total, because if you're going to do parallel, then that would be considered R P-A-R-T, which should be resistance parallel total. And I forgot my bracket here as well. So that's really the way you should put it. But anyways, we're not going to get into particulars of this. Our focus is to understand the rest of this. So let's go with R1, R2, R3, R4, and we got 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50. Well, that's 100 and 200. So this in case would be RST equals 200 ohms. Okay, that would be your series. Now, who's texting my phone? What the heck? Did the testing. It says the antenna, battery, and mic are good, but I think my truck speaker is not working right itself, but mic speaker sucks too. Okay, let's see if tune it for you. I always tell people, this guy wants to know if I want to tune it to line in his radio, but he's got SWR issue. Now he's telling me the antenna's okay. I always tell people, don't send your radios here to get tuned to line unless you have a good SWR, because you're just wasting your money. And it's not that I don't want your money, it's just most shops will say, yes, send it. Then they hack it all up. My question to people is, what is your SWR? Is your SWR good? If they say yes it is, they can guarantee you, okay, now you can send your radio here, and I'll gladly go through and align and tune it. I don't want people to send their radios here if you got a high SWR, because people say, can you peek and tweak my radio? Well, first of all, there's no such thing as peek and tweak. It's called align and tune. Read the procedure book; it tells you right there. Number two, if you enhance the radio to perform better, and you still have a high SWR, you're going to increase problems, higher risk of damage in the radio. So you do not want to let anybody inside your radios unless you have a good SWR. If you know that part of the equation is done, which is 90% of your setup, and everything's grounded good, then take your choice of whoever you want to go through your radio. But don't go send your radio out thinking it's going to improve your SWR. And people ask me all the time, can you match my antenna to my radio? No. I said, why not? Because you don't match your antenna to your radio. You match it to a good ground source. You match it to your vehicle, or else you match it to a mast on your home, and you ground everything good. As the antenna doesn't know what kind of radio that you have. It doesn't care about what radio that you have. It just needs to know you got 50 ohms at the termination point. That's it. So, there's a lot of people get confused. They think that because a lot of these shops tell you, I got to match your radio to your antenna. No, you don't. You match the antenna to the vehicle, or you match the antenna to a mast or a tower or whatever you're going to do on top of your home. You don't match an antenna to a radio. I don't understand why people still fall for that. But anyways, let's get back to this. So we have here, morning Chris, we have here your series, right? So we've got that part taken care of. Now let's get into parallel. We'll start with something basic. R1, R2. Okay. Now this here we're going to say is I don't know. We'll go with let's go with 100, and we'll go with 50. Okay. Now you get your handy dandy calculator. What we're going to do here is we're looking for the value of what this is going to be. So what we're looking to do here is going to be R PT, which is parallel total, equals R1 times R2 divided by R1 plus R2 equals, well, the equals is already over this side anyways, but we'll put in this, just cross that out. So what we need to do is R1 is 100, okay, and we got R2 is going to be 50, oops, equals, okay, yeah, do it like this. So you take 100 times 50, that equals 5,000, right? Get your little Blue's Clues calculator out, guys. Here we go. Now we're going to take this number and divide that by R1 plus R2. Well, R1 plus R2 is 150. So you divide that by 150, thus giving you 3.33 ohms. That would be your total for a parallel. So here's your series and here's your parallel. Real basic, okay? Now let's say you want to do multiple. How would you incorporate that? It's the same exact formula to an sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to go take this over here for a minute. Kind of get this out of the way. There we go. Okay. So let's go. There's one resistor. Two resistor. Three resistor. And we'll do 4 of them. What the hell? What the heck, sorry. So here's your series and here's your parallel. So let's go with R1, R2, 3, 4. And let's say, I don't know, let's go with 20. We'll go with 50. Let's go with 100, and we'll do 150. We'll make it strange. So 20 ohm, 50 ohm, 100 ohm, and 150 ohm. Okay, got that? Okay, very good. So we're going to take the equation to this is going to be R P, because it's parallel, total equals, you got R1 over, if everybody understands this now, okay, R1 plus R2 over R2 plus R3 over R4, oops, sorry, geez, 3 plus R4 over R4, okay, and so on if you want to do more. So what does this mean? Well, we have R1 is 20, so that's 1 over 20 plus 50, okay, 1 over 50, 100 plus 1 over 100, real straightforward, guys. And then you got plus the last resistor is 1 over 150. Okay? So 1 divided by 20 is 0.05 plus 1 divided by 50, 0.02 plus 1 divided by 100. I don't have a math calculator here, so I'm just using my standard calculator to do this with. And then 1 divided by, because you can do this on a one of those Texas Instrument deals, and they'd work out great too. So did I do that one right? So 1 divided by 150. He's going to be an oddball one, so this is going to be 007. We'll just round him off. So then you're going to take 0.05 plus 0.02 plus 0.01 plus 0.007, thus giving you a 0.087. We'll just round it off to a 0.08 ohm of resistance total for this equation. Okay? So take this number, divide it by 1, divide it by 1, divide it by 1, divide it by 1, then add up that sum, and this is what you're going to get, which should be 0.08 ohm, or 0.087 if you will, but we rounded it off. I'm sorry, yeah, 0.08. It should be actually 0.09. Because we rounded it off, because the real answer was 0.087. Okay, so we just kind of rounded that off to 0.9 ohms is what this would be for this resistance. So if you had an oddball deal like this, you're like, geez, I got to come up with a total value of this, put these things in parallel because I need a certain value. Well, if it's 0.09 ohm, right, so that's just less than 1 ohm. If you find a 1 ohm resistor, you're going to be more than fine with that. But you know, if you don't have something and you needed to get this value, then you got to come up with different values to obtain that total value. So that's basically what it is here in a nutshell, guys. Let's talk about network. So let me see if I have any room down here for this. I don't know if I have any space. I hope I do. Okay. Should have. So let's go like this. We'll go. Okay, here's your network. What if we had them parallel to series as a network, as a divider? So this is going to be R1. We're going to call that 50 ohms. Okay. And we'll call these, oh, I don't know, let's say 200 ohms each. Okay, so that's R2, R3. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the same thing down here, applies to what's up here. So we're going to take R2, times R3 divided by R2 plus R3. Okay? Well, what is that? Well, we got 200 and 200, right? So 200 times 200 is 40,000. So 200 times 200 equals 40. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to take that. 200 plus 200 is 400. And you can divide the two. Thus giving you 100 ohms. So now we know the value of R2, R3 is 100 ohms. Okay, I'm going to write that here. We know that is the value of this circuit. What we don't know, well, we got to take care of this one yet, right? So we know the value here. Now you're just going to add the two together. Because we've got this value, we're going to add that into a series effect now. So now 100 plus 150, I'm sorry, plus 50, I should say, not 150, equals 150. So in this case, your value of this network circuit would be 150 ohm total resistance. Everybody understand that? Everybody got that down? Boxcar's having a great day. How you doing, Boxcar? You having a wonderful day, are you? Awesome stuff, isn't it? So that's pretty much about it, really. Okay, so this is your resistance. So let's kind of go over this one more time. We have our series right here. Okay. Just add them together. It would be 2 resistors, 3, 4. We just did 4. So your total resistance would be in series. You just add them together like one person holding the hand, then the hand, then the hand. How many people do you got? You got 4 people holding hands, and that means you got a total of 4 people, right? So kind of a poor analogy, but it is what it is. Now you come down here to a parallel circuit. And let's kind of briefly go over this again. So a parallel circuit is R1 times R2, and then take that value, and then you have R1 plus R2, and divide it. Okay? Then, I don't want to say same, but very similar, not to go off topic, but very similar to capacitance in a sense. Some are reversed a little bit, but is similar to the modulated waveform as well. So when people don't like calculations, right? It's the same thing as modulated waveform, except the difference there would be your peak to peak plus your minimum voltage modulated carrier, and then the same thing, peak to peak minus your minimum voltage modulated carrier. So it's kind of similar in a sense, but not exactly the same, because this is going to be R1 times R2 and then R1 plus R2, whereas a modulated waveform calculation would be minus divided by your plus factor times 100 equals your percentage rate for that. So it's a different topic. We've done many of those. Go back to my videos. We'll probably do it again for you as well. Because I got a lot of guys keep asking about how do you calculate modulation. Well, if you guys watch my videos and you go back and search, don't be lazy about it. Go back and search. You'll see it. I got many videos explaining that during process of aligning it to 200 radios. So these calculations, numbers and math mean everything. If you deprive yourself because you don't want to make a straight line, you want to cut corners, you're not going to advance. You have to take and understand the mathematical equations, the formulas. If you just decide, well, I'm just going to do this, and you're not going to learn. Okay, now you're going to rely on somebody else saying, well, geez, how do you do this again? Just give me the answer. You can't do that. Okay, so you got to understand how to do all of this. You got to learn it. It's not everybody's pet peeve. It's not, and believe me, it's not mine either. But I have to learn this stuff. And there's actually a thing, Boxcar, let me know if I test your ability on this one, buddy. If you understand resistance, we talked about color code the other day, right? So when you talk about like resistance and whatnot, there's actually this thing called bubaline. Okay, it's bubaline. If everybody can look that up and say, what is bubaline in electronics, you will see exactly what that stands for. It's something I had to learn way back in high school years. And so that references a lot to component componentry and circuitry and values and whatnot. So if you look up what boolean is, I don't know if you've ever heard that before or not, Boxcar, but boolean is a lot to do with the electronic background. So if you look that all up, you get a huge understanding, like where that word come from. You'll see it. Believe me, the first day I heard this, like, what did you say? And the teacher told me again. I was like, okay, and what does that mean? And when he broke it down, we had a whole class on it. I was like, oh wow! And it wasn't just a whole class; it was a class after class after class after class. This went on for probably a good week, I think it was at that time or so, of just every day, the whole class was talking about boolean, and you're trying to hold your jaw up off the school desk from falling down because you're falling asleep. But, yeah, it's a fun time. Anyway, so R1 times R2, R1 plus R2, divide the two values, and that's what you get down here. I use these values as 100 and then 50, and then you can fact check this as well, and this is what you can come up to be. Now, if you had, we'll say 4 resistors in parallel, okay, then that's what you're going to use. We went with a 20, a 50, a 100, and a 150, so you're going to take and do the same thing here. It's going to be this one divided by itself, divided by itself, divided by itself, divided by itself. Those totals you add in sequence of, and thus giving you 0.90 ohms resistance for this. So R divided by 1 plus that value, R divided by 2. These two add together, so forth and so forth and so forth. And then you get this. You got your 1 divided by your 20, 1 divided by 50, 1 divided by 100, and 1 divided by 150. And if you add those all up, this is with a magic number what you get. And then we have what we call a divided circuit. It's what we call a voltage divider in a sense. So this here would be nice to learn, is because this is what we call a tank network, okay, in a sense. And I don't know why they call it tank. They should not call it a tank. It's actually just a divider circuit, because a tank would require a capacitor. So this is not true to when they call it a tank circuit. People call this a voltage tank circuit, and that is actually incorrect. It is not a tank at all. It's a divided circuit. It's not a tank. Tank would require a capacitor of some sort in here. There's no capacitor in this circuit, therefore is not a voltage tank circuit. This is not. Don't use that word tank. Okay. So this is a voltage divided circuit. So here we go. We have a 200 ohm and a 200 ohm. Well, we have to eliminate this one right here. We're not going to look at that series. We're going to look at this circuit right here. We want to do the same equation as what we did up here to the first equation, right? Same exact thing as him. So we're going to take R2 times R3, R2 plus R3, divide the 2, take the difference, and that would be your number. Now you take that number and then you add it back into the top number, which now becomes your series, okay? In this case would be 150. Pretty straightforward, right? Everybody got that? First time ever hearing that boxcar? Yeah. Morning, Chad. How are you? Well, let's see what you got here. Oh, what do you got, Michael? It says, generally speaking, series is additive and increases resistance, and parallel reduces resistance in a non-network circuit. That is very true, yes. Yep. The only network circuit you're going to have is when you put a series parallel circuit. Otherwise, there would be no network. It would be either series, which is you add, or it would be your parallel, which would be a multiple of multiplying, adding, and some division. It's more of a divided. In the end sum would be a divided value. This case here, if you're running parallel to series, this is considered a network, not the other ones though. So yeah, that is very true, very correct. Okay, everybody got that? Okay, hope so. Okay, now let's get into capacitance, shall we? All right. Let's say we have one here, Okay? C1, C2, C3, C4. I shouldn't say that. No, just kidding. So anyways, so we have 4 capacitors, and we want to know how do we get the value in which all of these are. So let's just use a number. Let's say, I don't know, we'll say 2, I don't know, all right, 8, we'll go with 10, and we'll go with 12. How's that? 2, 8, 10, 12. So we want to know what is the total value of this circuit. Well, we're going to use, these are all going to be microfarad, by the way. So MF. All right, so 2 microfarad, 8 microfarad, 10 microfarad, 12 microfarad. Pretty much same thing as before, as like the resistance in a way. So we're going to go this way. It's going to go C1 over C1 plus C2 over C2 plus C3 over C3 plus C4 over C4 equals. This case here is going to be 1 over 2 plus 1 over 8 plus 1 over 10 plus 1 over 12 equals. Okay, so 1 divided by 2, 0.5 plus 1 divided by 8, 0.125. Then you got 1 divided by 10, it's 0.1. 1 divided by 12, 0.08. Then you go add together 0.5 plus 0.125 plus 0.1, 0.08, giving you a value of, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? 0.805. Kind of an oddball number we use. Microfarad. I just threw numbers in. So you could use whatever you wish. I just threw numbers in. If we wanted to change that out, let's say we're going to go with 10. We'll say, I don't know, let's try a more interesting 50. 20, and we'll go 100. Let's try that. Ja. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Is Vintage me when my Brewski? Well, they didn't answer any 3 languages, so I guess they ain't important. They don't speak German, they don't speak Russian. So I guess that sucks to be them. Anyways, it's nice when I get the chance to answer phones with spam calls, because I'll do that. And then they'll answer the phone like, huh? Anyways, we'll speak Chinese on the phone. We'll speak different languages on the phone. I know several languages. We had to learn that many years ago because of the martial arts. So, anyways, so let's go with. So we got your, you got your 1 divided by 10 is 0.1, and then we've got let's see, 1 divided by 50, 0.02. And then you got 1 divided by 20, 0.05. We'll try and change this up a little bit. That's kind of a goofy value. See if this one comes out better. Not really. In a way it does, though. So what we need to do here is take that number and divide it by 1 to see how they come out now. So it's 1 divided by, so that actually equals, let's see here. should be 5.55. So that'd be 5.55 microfarad on him, and then 1 divided by 0.805 is going to be an oddball with this guy. Yeah, it'd be like a 1.24. Okay, so there's your equation for this one here. We kind of change up the values a little bit between this guy and this guy, which was 0.805, and this one here was 0.18. So that's giving you 1.24 and 5.55 microfarads. Okay, so kind of give you an idea as to how that goes with this. Standing Stone said they told him there'd be no math. Yeah, ain't that funny? Hello, James. How are you? Hello, Chad. Hello, John, Kevin, everybody in there. Michael, how are you? Is there performance when calculating network circuits? I notice you calculated parallel first. Well, of course, current flows in different directions, right? So resistance current kind of goes wherever current wants to go. Now, when you have them in a diode formation, well, current can go one flow. Resistance, current goes either way. So depending on how your flow is and which direction it wants to go, it can go from a negative point of view and go from a positive point of view. But resistance, current goes both ways, whereas diode would be different because of the capacitance in which current goes only one direction. So it depends on the circuit you're building and what you're looking for with that. Anyway, so this is pretty much how you would take care of a series effect when it comes to that. Now, the what was I going to say now? I mean, you can calculate the charge if you want to do something like that, for example, as well. But I mean, this is your series aspect. Let's talk about the parallel for a moment. Parallel is pretty straightforward. So let's go with, this is opposite of resistance now, okay? So there's your parallel. We'll do 4 caps. I like even numbers. Alright, so C1, C2, C3, C4. Let's say you got a 20, I don't know, a 20, a 10, and a 50. Okay? So how would you calculate capacitors if they were in parallel? Well, that's real simple, actually. So this is actually the opposite of your series and resistors. Series and resistors, you add them all up, right? If you run resistors in parallel, you don't add them up. It's a different formula for that, right? So in this case here, when you have these like this, and capacitance is the opposite of your series of resistance. So this here, you would actually add this up. It's the sum of what they are. So we have 20, 40, 50, and 50. So this whole value here equals 100 microfarad. Pretty straightforward. There's really no calculation of that. So it's just C1 plus C2 plus C3 plus C4 equals some microfarad. Pretty straightforward. That's like it's like the so simplified thing right to do. So if you were to put resistors in parallel, you would not add them up. You would go through a formula to eventually divide and break that down into a value. From this value to that value, the sum to the value, sum to value, sum to get your overall. But when it comes to capacitance, when capacitance is in parallel, you actually add them up. So this is your sum total right here of your 4 capacitors. Everybody got that? I think we had enough fun for now between resistance and capacitance. It's pretty straightforward, really. Not hard to do. If you guys need more information, you can always go online and search it as well. But, yeah. Now you guys learned how to do your resistance and how to do your capacitance. If anybody got any questions, ask now or forever hold your peace, because I got lots of work to do. In other words, don't bombard me with questions a whole lot right now. No, just kidding. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. Hey, Rick. I hope you are feeling good today, Mr. Sir. Leadfoot, how are you? Playing peekaboo in there. I see you. Did you? How'd you make out? Did you do okay with that? Yes, Andy. That went out yesterday, actually. And thank you so much for being patient. It's been so crazy here, as you know. But, yes, that went out yesterday. So you will be expecting it very soon, absolutely. I would say probably Monday, or whichever the latest, I'd imagine, or however long it takes to get to you. But, yes, that went out yesterday. Yes. It didn't come out so good for you? Standing Stone? How'd you make out on it? I mean, did you... It's not working out so well as far as replacing the socket, or... They're a real pain to do, that is for sure. Morning, Mr. Leadfoot. Yeah, Rick's favorite band is no longer his favorite band. He don't like the Rolling Stones anymore. He hates those Rolling Stones. But I do hope you feel better, Rick. I really do. You got to get on that golf cart and get back to healthy and start chasing those Karens around town. Get out of your area. Did I get your text, Chris? I don't know. Let me take a look. When did you text me? Oh, okay, I got a message right here. Hold on, let me see. All right, I just wrote you back, Chris. And like I said, this is not directed towards you, so you're a cool guy and all, but just read the text, you'll understand. My accountant's all over me on that type of thing, so we can't continue on with the whole storage and etc. So, just read the text, you'll see it, and we'll talk about that over the phone. But I just responded to your text, so you'll see what I wrote, and just make sure you get her done. So, got to the end of the month. Oh, come on, Ace. Patience, patience, patience. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're a great guy, and I really do appreciate you. I really do. Thank you so much, Mr. Ace, for being very patient. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. You're an awesome guy. But yeah, that went out yesterday, so you should be expecting any time. Yep, no problem at all. The connections wiggled on you, Standing Stone. Okay, yeah. Oh, you got two defective mic sockets for the package. Wow. Yeah. Oh, okay. When you're hitting the push to talk, you hear receive, then you've got your ground switched. You got to check your receive and your transmit leads. You've got your ground switch there somewhere. If it's doing the opposite on you. Hey Kevin, how are you? KJ5IOU, I hope you're feeling better. I heard you last night on sandbagging. I heard you say you weren't feeling too well, so I hope you bounce back there, buddy, and get yourself better. Get a lot of warm fluids in you. Drink a lot of water and get yourself fresh lemon juice there and pure organic honey with a hot glass of water. It'll drain right out of your system. Do that 3 times a day for about 3 or 4 days, or until you start feeling better, and you'll feel much better quickly. If you don't mind raw garlic, you're gonna stink for a while. But if you don't mind raw garlic, that will also knock out your flu symptoms and everything else as well. So, but I like going with the lemon juice and the honey because it's a lot more feasible. It don't stink, and it does a lot more than just take out the sickness from you. So you'll do much better for their zinc. Absolutely, Michael. Take that damn zinc, man. It'll knock it out of your system super quick for sure. Your ground is off. Yeah, you got to have it grounded, Standing. So somewhere you're missing the ground. So your shield is your ground, yes. Your shield is your ground. So you got to have that in there, yes. Yeah, I'm all about home remedies. If I can do home remedies, I'm not. I mean, zinc, I'll take that if I have to, but otherwise, or like your omega-3, whatever, like fish oils, but you got to keep it all natural. You got to keep everything 100% natural. You don't want to have to go down over the counter, Tylenol and Advil and NyQuil and all that stuff doesn't do nothing for you. It really doesn't. The best thing to do is lots of water, lemon juice, honey. Even if you're not sick, you should always drink lemon juice and honey with a warm glass of water a couple times a day. It's not going to hurt you. And if you're a diabetic, watch your sugar intake, obviously. But if you do that, then it's going to help you drastically. So it actually raises your metabolism a little bit while you sleep too. So it's actually a fat burner in a sense, very slow effect. But while you're sleeping at night and you have like an hour before bed, a nice tall glass of hot water with pure organic 100% honey and a couple you gotta do like 2 tablespoons of honey and a couple teaspoons of the lemon juice. Mix it all together, wolf that thing down like an hour or so before bed. It'll help you sleep better, your mind be more relaxed. There's like a lot of benefits for you for sure. And there you go. Alright guys, anyways, if anyone's got any questions, drop them in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the video today. And this is a great, excellent video of education for everybody as far as your capacitance and resistance goes. So if everybody understands how to do all this, then I think you guys did pretty good for the class today. So I'll give everybody an A for doing very well. So I appreciate that. Following right along. And wonderful time for sure. So I got to get myself started for the day, get a lot of work caught up here, so we got to get going. Can't spend all day with this. I wish I could and do a lot more for you. Next video we can show you how to create or calculate rather your value of charge, your voltage charge over capacitors at each capacitor and a total value, and you'll see how it all equates back out to your initial voltage that you begin the circuit with as well. So we will explain that all to you at another video, but we really gotta get some work done. We spent enough time with this, and if you guys stay tuned, I do have a QT60 here available, like brand new. It is slightly used, but like brand new, so I've got one of those here available. And I also have a version 1. Yes, that is correct. Version 1. Very clean, mint condition. Version 1 Striker 955 HP. So we've got one of those here available. Slightly used, but very clean as well. All in the original boxes. So they are for sale. If you want them, then we will, like I said, stay tuned here in a moment. We're going to put them on the bench in my next video here in a couple of moments. Good morning, Edwin. How are you? Gabriel, good morning to you. How are you? And so we will take and definitely have those available. We also have a Delta microphone, desk microphone, the newer one. We have one of those here that's only been used a couple of times and put right back in the original box. So we're going to sell that as being used. I mean, I could lie to you and say it's brand spanking new because it is like brand spanking new, but it has been slightly used. And so we are going to sell it as a used but mint condition, very clean original box microphone, because we are very honest here, so we don't deceive anybody at all. And so it is mint condition, like new, but was used a couple of times. That's microphone, so we will have that coming up in the video. We're going to do one video on all 3 items. We're not going to do a raffle. We're just going to put a price onto them, and away they go. So when we get done with this video, we'll load up another video live stream here in a few moments, and we will put these on the bench and demonstrate those and show you what they have, and they're already good to go. And we will be able to put those up for sale if anybody's interested. If anybody does want those, we'll get them right out the door today as well, if they are a success in sales today. If not, they'll be sitting here on the shelf until they do sell. But we will have those available here in a few moments as well. And you are very welcome, Boxcar, no problem, for sure. Standing Stone says he had to learn algebra at age 42. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, my kids do that today. They're like, Dad, you ever take algebra back in school? Nope. Took all kinds of different math and this, that, and the other, but as I got older, I got into some of it, but there's a lot you got to do over the years. Many different math equations for all kinds of sorts of things. It's just a matter of how you take to it, I guess, really. So, but yeah, for sure. So, yeah, send me a video if you get a chance, whether it be email or text message. Or you got my cell phone, I believe, don't you? I think you did. I think you sent me one before or something, but. So there it is. So send it right to my cell phone. A small video clip. I'll take a look at it for sure. Hey, Matt, there you go. Yeah, now this one here says version 1. I should probably keep this because I do like the version 1 over the version 2s. I know how they got a version. I call it a version 3, but they call it a version 2 plus. And it's just they enhance the audio section and they enhance the final section is what they did. So you get a little bit more power, a little bit more about 100 watts or better. Whereas the version 2s are the 70, 80 watt area, roughly 85-ish. And the version 1 was all of between about 90 to 100 watts as well. So, yeah, very good. I mean, so we got those here available. The version 1 and the QT60. So. Gabriel says, what's his question here? Off topic, but question is, can a high power radio blow up a lower power radio? How do you mean? What exactly is your definitive question behind that? Because it's kind of an open statement, really. So what are you referring to? Like, say for example, you're sitting beside somebody of some sort, or you got 2 radios side by side. What you would take out would be the front end receive, not the transmit section. So if you are keyed up on a high power radio and you got a low power, it doesn't even matter if it's low power or not, but if you got any kind of power radio whatsoever beside it, and you key up with a high power radio, you might take out the front end receive. That's about it. And you're not going to damage the transmit stage or nothing because, it's not affecting that. You're just going to take out the front end receive because, there's too much going into the radio. So you really can't blow up another radio outside of the receiver circuit, maybe, provided the amount of power going in, how close that radio is to point A to point B. As far as your low power radio blowing up and high power radio, I mean, unless you're transmitting one into the other at the same time, that'd be different, I suppose. But yeah, no, if it's just 2 separate radios, 2 separate antennas, or 2 separate stations set up, and high power radio you're transmitting on, and you got the low power radio turned on, if anything, worst case scenario, you might just take out the front end receiver of it, if that. Otherwise, you're not going to damage anything otherwise. You shouldn't damage nothing otherwise because you're not using the other radio, I would imagine, right? You're just using it as a standby or whatever, maybe. So you got to give me a little bit more information as what you're applying this to, as to what your applications and whatnot are, then I can be a little bit more definitive with with my answer to your question, rather. So not quite sure exactly. It's kind of like I said, it's an open statement really as to can a high power blow up a low power. Well, give me an example what you're doing or what you mean, and we can kind of go from there. A 4300 HP, they're a nice radio. I mean, if you're gonna go with the Connex, Chris, go with a 4600 turbo. You know, a nice little 100+ watt deal there. So, yeah. All right, guys. Anyways, drop your comments below if you got any more questions, and I guess we'll go from there. So let me get to work because I got to get hustling here. I got a lot of work to do, and it's already, wow, 8:40. Yeah, I got to get going. I should have already been started at 8 o'clock. So I'm 40 minutes behind schedule here, but that's okay. I had a lot of fun doing the capacitance and resistance for everybody. Give you guys the formulas and whatnot. So hope everybody learned something new with this. I hope everybody enjoyed the video as well. Like, share, subscribe. Smash that like button, guys, please. And we'll try to get, my goal is to try to get at least, if we can go for like, say, you know, I don't know, let's try to make a goal of 500 likes. If we get 500 likes on this video before the end, or at least by the end of February, then I will put a consolation prize up for something. I'll do something special for that. So we will have something that we'll do at the end of the month. We'll do like a little consolation type thing. Everybody can jump on here and have a blast. Won't cost you nothing. Cost me, but it won't cost you. So, but that'll be my gift to anybody who wants to participate with this. But let's go for a goal of 500 likes, and on this video here by the end of February. And so, if we can achieve that goal, then we'll do a consolation prize live stream at that point in time, and anybody who's interested in joining into the consolation video at that point in time is more than welcome to. There's no limit. We will be able to do some fun stuff. So we've got all kinds of things we'll probably entertain with that as well. I don't know exactly just yet. We might do maybe like a small kit, electronic kit you can put together, maybe t-shirt, maybe tumbler. We'll figure out something. Maybe it's a Baofeng. I don't know. We'll do a couple different consolation prizes at that point. Probably do like up to maybe 4 different things. We'll pass out, and we'll do. I don't know. Probably up to. Well, we got to put a limit, I suppose. So I shouldn't say no limit. We'll probably got to do a limit. So whoever's on there, we'll probably do up to like maybe. We'll do like up to 5 consolation prizes, I guess. We'll do it that way. I mean, we'll make it kind of a basic deal. So we'll do like the 5 different consolation prizes. At the end of the month, if we can get 500 likes in this video, we'll do up to 5 consolation prizes, and we'll put the names into a spin wheel and see where that goes from there as to who will be the winner of these consolation prizes at that given time. So we'll be doing this on the final day of the month, and we will see where that goes. So let's hit that 500 likes, guys, and we'll go from there for sure. That answered your question, Gabriel? Perfect, awesome. Okay, for example, 200-watt radio within 20 feet of a 4-watt radio. No, that won't damage nothing. Like I said, if anything, it might take out the receiver, but not likely. If you're within 20 feet, you're doing 400 watts. I mean, I guess it depends. If you're just on there, like, keying it down and just, you know, yelling into the microphone constantly. If you only did it a couple of times, I wouldn't worry about it. Unless you have a low-power radio that's been affected. It might take off the receiver front end. That would be about it. Otherwise, it shouldn't really smoke nothing at all for sure. So, yeah. You got a pile of 29s? I got 4 bins full of 29s downstairs, plus another 8 bins full that are actually all in working condition. I had a guy came here from PA, and he brought me 4 bins full of Cobra 29s and a bunch of other radios too. So, but I got 8 bins full of 29s that are already in working condition. So usually I get $85 out of a good used one. What I've been doing is I've been just giving those away for $65 a piece. No microphone, no power cord, just $65 a piece to a good used Cobra 29. If anybody wants one, I've got piles full here. Oh. I know have much tied into them, so I'm going to let them go cheap because they're great for truckers and for people that just want to try to get out in the air, play a little bit, and kind of go from there. So, all right, guys, I really got to go. I got things to do here. I got a lot of things to do. I'm like so far back, I just can't keep up with the amount of work that I get on a day-to-day basis. You have no idea. So, I probably get more than the average shop in the country. But anyways, we'll be back here in a few moments, guys, and we will take and put the QT60, the Striker, and the Sindelta microphone. We'll put those on here for sale here in a few moments. So stand by for that video as well, and we will go from there. So yeah, Michael says he'll trade his 88 for the Striker. Oh, that 88 nightmare, and Matt's 99 nightmare. You know what's funny? I got 2 other 88s that came in that a guy wants me to do. He didn't tell me what they were. He just said, well, he said that it was an 88, and I kind of feared being a Galaxy, but then he said that it was something different. So I thought he said it was like a Mirage or some sort of like a Mirage 86. I thought, okay, well, maybe he got the numbers wrong. And then when they got here, it's like, oh, no. So, yeah, I got another pair of 88s here I got to do. And I have 2 more 99s I got to do. It's like, oh, for heaven's sake. Oh, my God. It's just a wonderful time. Galaxy heaven, that's for sure. So, I don't know. We'll figure something out. Anyways, catch you guys here back in a short. Thank you all for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe as always, and I'll see you soon here at the DX Radio Shop.